turn off the heat real quick.
Turn off the heat. What a novel concept.
Yep. Alright, well, it looks like we are going live now. So as people trickle in, we'll get to talk to them, introduce you, Nathan, on stream.
Okay.
And I will try not to ruin the call. There we go. Everything's fine again. It's saved to the Windows when Skype did something weird. It decided to follow suit.
I'll be back in a second. I need to make a phone call.
Okay. So, I guess today we get to talk about the patch that's coming up, because we get to start testing today for that. And then probably talk a little bit more matchmaking as that gets closer. Anything else you'd like to bring up, Howard?
I don't know. No.
All right, Nathan. How's your first? I guess is it your first full week or your second?
Wait, are
full
we
week?
live?
This
Yeah.
is my second.
Oh, are we live?
Yes,
Okay.
we are live.
Maybe I should bring up something. I don't know we're live.
This is the end of my second week.
Everyone's giving you a good greeting and hello. So, how's it now being fully indoctrinated? I'm assuming after 2 weeks.
I've just been fixing a few bugs here and there. It's pretty cool. Getting used to the code base. I've been playing with our Oculus VR dev kit, and absolutely no time frame so far, but hopefully that will be in Guns of Icarus sooner or later.
Sure, that's a big hope. And now you get to tease people because your Skype picture is the you wearing
Yes.
the Oculus Rift.
Yeah. Just taunting everyone.
And for everyone who's curious, a lot of the Google features are down. We normally use gchat for this, which is what gives us the free video and whatnot. So now we're on Skype, so there's a lot of still pictures. Yep, it's been pretty crazy. Yahoo making fun of Google on Twitter, and the tech news freaking out about it for some reason. But we're still powering through over here. And so we got the, I guess a lot of bug fixes in the next patch coming up, is what a lot of the patches, and then some balance changes to the Artemis.
I've returned.
Welcome back. We're just
Welcome back.
Just gonna start. We're just starting to talk about the next patch that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think today it went live in the dev app, and then when we look, do we have a release date other than sometime next week?
Let's see. It is sometime next week. I don't know off the top of my head. Alex just left the room, so I can't ask definitively.
Probably middle of next week.
Sounds good.
Next Wednesday, I think.
And I can't get onto Google Calendar to look it up either.
Yeah, because all the fun Google stuff is down.
Well, it's sort of up. It's just really slow.
Yep. So we have a couple questions. Isn't it the engine Icarus runs on supposed to be very easy to implement the Oculus support with?
Not necessarily, because the way that our game works, we're implementing several cameras. Like we have a camera just for effects, like when you're on the ice maps or the rainy maps, that's a different camera. So there's a bunch of stuff going on, so just getting all the UI and all the effects going on, not as easy as you would believe. If it's one camera, it's very easy. And if there's no UI, it's very easy.
Yeah, there is an already made like Unity integration package for Unity. I've literally just gotten the Oculus working, and today I got all the configuration and setup stuff working correctly. So I haven't actually gotten to mess with it in Unity yet. I got it working in Team Fortress 2 for a few minutes just to make sure that everything seemed like it was set up correctly. So yeah, then the next step is digging into the Unity stuff that's provided and seeing how it will integrate with the Guns of Icarus stuff. And it looks like skyboxes is another issue that
Yeah, yeah.
could happen, or that the skyboxes we might need to make new skybox assets to work properly with the Rift. That's a potential thing. So there's still work to be done. So like I said, there's absolutely no time frame on it quite yet.
Fair enough. And for the next patch coming up, what are some of the fixes we're going to be looking at?
It's actually,
Yep.
let me.
I can tell you the bugs that I fixed.
Well, start us off. What
Yeah,
bugs
go
did
for
you
it.
get to fix?
So
Let me pull up Trello.
the ship slots, which are the engines and the guns, will now have their own collision boxes. So, like if you jumped over the steering wheel on the Spire, you could fall down through the front cannon, and that should no longer happen. And it basically will mean less falling off the ship near guns in general. I think that there's still we could tune those collision boxes a little bit more, but this is a sort of a first pass to get in there so that people aren't falling off the ship quite as much unintentionally. I guess if you want to jump off the ship, there's plenty of places to do that.
All right, cool. Let me. I just pulled up our
Okay.
Trello board, and I have the stuff that we fixed all lined up. So I'm just gonna read off the stuff that we fixed but need testing. Though they're still like waiting for testing. All right. So match list priority or match list hierarchy or organizations change to scramble not yet started, not scramble not yet started, scramble started, and not scramble started. Everybody got that? The spotting brackets are not affected by lens distortion for good this time. So add a sound effects for encrypting and changing zoom levels of the spyglass. Let's see, switch cruise signal sounds from 2D 3D sounds. Can't rejoin a match when you're spectating, bug fixed. Add a sound for missed hits. There's some like weird issue with going from crew slot to spectator. It's fixed. Some other like last second joining spectator bug causing like connection window thing to happen, fixed. Let's see. No, like engine noise being weird when you're on helm, when you're like say on full throttle, that's fixed. Explosion spikes missing material added. Join match from friend list broken sometimes, fixed. Let's see. The spotted, like the box becomes like your spotted spot box, whatever, becoming skewed when you're looking through FLAC. That's been fixed. Really big thing, I guess, is it's not like a lot of work, but we've sort of we've taken a step to reorganize the main screen. So most notably, quick join is now gone. So the notorious quick join is now gone, and it will be gone forever. And the matches is now relabeled play, because matches was a little bit confusing for especially some of the new players. It's like, oh, play, I just want to play. How do I get in a match? Well, now you'll say play.
Quick join is a very example of one of those things that just does its job too well.
Well, that's really, I don't know. I mean, it's sort of debatable. It
Certainly
it
gets
probably-
done quickly, but
fair
well.
enough.
It didn't fill the need that people expected of it, and that's really where the issue lay.
Yeah, so there's now a way to min-match block somebody or mute somebody. So, and then when in match, when you're tabbing, it now displays people's rank numerals. And the jumping down, going falling through deck stuff that Nathan was talking about, that's fixed. There was some glitching with ship customization details. Actually, I had to read on. There's just some details associated with it, but anyways, there's some like glitching stuff that happened with ship customization that we fixed, that we polished up, and some performance improvement, with ship, Artemis balance, and yeah,
capture point balance, or I guess not balance, but change.
Is it
Yeah,
going map by
obviously.
map now, or has it just been changed across the board?
Which is,
I mean, the changes are slightly different from map to map, but the changes are across the board in the terms that, yeah, most of the maps have been touched. Crazy King, well, actually, I think most of the maps have a lowered overall goal. So instead of like, oh, and I need to reach 800 points, now it's just 650 or something like that. For most of the Crazy King, the amount of time required to capture a single point has been reduced as well. So hopefully that will encourage points to turn around much more frequently.
Emily.
I'm going to evaluate whether or not I want to actually reduce the radius
Emily.
of these.
Emily. Hey, progress screen? Is that
Progress screen?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to talk over this stuff.
yep.
Oh wait, sorry. I just stepped out for a second. I was talking to Emily, checking on something. So Emily said that progress screen is also going to get cleaned up a little bit. Yeah, simplified. The summary page is gone.
Bum bum bum. Sorry, I assumed you need some intensity there.
I am intense.
I don't even remember what I was talking about, so I'll just leave
Sorry.
it at that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You were talking about capture point maps.
Okay,
Sorry.
I think I'm done talking about them.
Okay.
I don't know if I stepped on Eric or I saved him. I don't know. Whichever.
So when,
Matchmaking system will be testable next week. It is still what we would anticipate feedback and bug fixes and the UI. There's a first pass. Is not actually finalized or polished. It doesn't really have the final polish pass. But we wanted to test functionality and flow first before we actually do a final polish pass, which is actually the correct way of doing things. So we're going to. Well, I mean, we are recruiting players to start testing the new matchmaking system, with the caveat being that the UI won't be finalized.
though, speaking of new exciting things, we're on what is it? Humble Bundle, or not Humble Bundle, Humble Store.
Yeah. So we have a soft launch on the Humble Store. So for them to test out, any like issues on the store and whatnot. But it's on there. And I think we're the 168th or 69th game on Humble Store. So if people want to go check it out, because obviously they support a lot of great charities. So the proceeds, I think 10% of the proceeds from the game, from any purchase on Humble Store, goes to charity, which is, I think it's great, because they donate to the Red Cross, Child's Play, and all that stuff. So all the good charities. So I think it's really worthwhile. And I believe, don't totally quote me on it, but next weekend will actually be more formally launched on the Humble Store, with a feature and a discount and everything. So I'll try to keep everybody abreast at the release of it. But it is you if you go to Humble Store now, you can find it.
It's our first step to try to get into that Humble Bundle.
Yeah.
So that's always exciting. And then we have a question. So when will we see he says adventure mode, or early access version for non-Muse members? I assume Steel Shark that you're talking about co-op mode, because that's what is being worked on right now. But so I guess when will the testable alpha beta for players come out?
Internally for us, I believe Alex said end of next week. I think we want to actually iterate on it for a little bit first before we open it up to like the really, really, really early alpha players. So I guess that's kind of up to Eric and Alex a little bit actually, but maybe in a few weeks. And along with that, Eric's also working on some, community on specking. But by specking, I mean, defining in detail, some new community features that we're trying to introduce, I guess. With one eye towards co-op, obviously. So there's actually a lot of cool stuff that we came up with, especially Eric. So he's going to actually work on a spec. Spec stands for specifications for us. And in the coming 2 to 3 weeks, and with that we can actually get started working on that. So I mean that's down the pipeline as well. We started to look at ship customization as well. So all those things are pretty exciting. Making headways with a number of things. So I mean, this build I would say is more this release. I mean, it's more geared toward fixes and small, polish and feature improvements or additions. But so there is nothing major. That being said, there are a lot of things that we're working on longer term going on in the background. It's just not reflected build or in the update.
And then we have a question about, so when will the light flak arming time and the mine launcher appear in the Wilson notes?
Eric!
Uh,
No idea.
Hold on. Wait, so there's the mine launcher is not in the notes?
The arming time on it, I think.
The arming time is not in the notes. I'll take a look at that. Wait, the arming time for both the light flak and the
Mine launcher, yeah.
mine launcher? I'll take a look. They should be in there.
Alright. And then the flashcard question, as Brian says, when will we see a mouse slot and a goggle slot separation?
Tim is I don't know where Tim is. He's meeting with the. Oh, okay. So Tim is in a meeting.
Fair enough.
So therefore, I conveniently won't be able to answer that question.
All right.
It's on the agenda.
Yeah, it is on the approved projects list. I know that. So.
It's on the agenda. I mean, our status is the same as last week. We are still working on the trailer, but we are 1 week closer to completion. Which means we're 1 week closer to doing other stuff.
And then Tropo's asking, sorry for missing your question before, Tropo. Why put in a matchmaking system? And he says when it's destroyed other games.
I think with matchmaking, ultimately it comes down to how well it does, right? How well it does at what it's meant to do, which is pair people at the same vicinity of levels or ballpark of levels to play it against each other or with each other, so that they can have a more meaningful match, right? If it does its job, then I think the majority of people will be content. If it doesn't, then obviously people won't be content. I think that with matchmaking, it's obviously a departure, but I think that the current system of match lists, basically the current system of what we do, the match lobby has a lot of flaws. It's not really scalable. It has performance problems, and it ultimately hinders growth and the expansion of the community. Nor do I think that is best for the longevity and health of our community. So therefore, I actually fundamentally believe that hopefully a well-designed matchmaking system will be much better for us and for everybody. So, yeah, I mean, I think I guess I'll argue that WoW is definitely caused a lot of games a lot of griefs, or some games a lot of griefs anyway. It has also allowed other games to grow. I think it's just really up to us to at least do an adequate job, right? I mean, it will never be perfect. I mean, then again, our current system is far away from being perfect either. So I think we can only look to improve, doing what we think is best.
Sounds good. And he follows up with, will you remove it if it fails?
I think I would work on improving it.
Yep.
I mean, it's like I would say the current system is failing, but I wouldn't say the current system is succeeding either. And we still have it, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we'll have something that allows you to play matches. But hopefully, the system is like the best we can conjure.
Looks like another player has caught a little typo. You should definitely send the typos you find in the notes to feedback@musegames.com, so we have like a written record of what we need to check and fix up. Because like this chat goes away as soon as I close the window, so I'd hate to miss out. Like I'm copying and pasting them all now, but if I don't talk about yours and miss it, so right now the goldfish forward movement stats, I now have that one saved and written down. But I want to make sure if you guys find something important, let us know through email so we can hunt it. Alright, let's see if there's any other questions. So there's one about uploading pictures and icons basically for your ship. Basically it comes back to the uploader.
Uploader. Well, how about a preset decal customizer?
Well,
So I take your uploader, I sell you back a decal customizer. What do you think of that?
So describe the decal customizer. How much control would they have over the customization of the decal?
I think initially based on our presets. Eventually people can what we eventually would love to do is to have this go through Steam Workshop to some extent. To some extent, meaning that we will still need to curate it, and to have it like meet spec and whatnot. So, I mean, I think with uploading, I mean, I guess it depends. Let me say if it's like uploading some profile picture of a player or whatever. I mean, that eventually like we can consider that, but if the problem with like just randomly uploading stuff, say if we don't like define the specs really carefully or clearly, we'll go through something like the workshop where we'll have a mechanism to find stuff where people can browse stuff, then it's really going to be difficult for us to manage, or for that piece of content that's uploaded to be useful. Yeah.
Alright, and then I think this one's for you, Eric. Is there any way to get rid of the drums signaling nearby ships, or is that a conscious game mechanic choice?
Yeah, you can get rid of the drums by turning off your music.
Yeah, I think he means like for like a competitive game if you wanted to run one without the drums.
I mean, if you're running competitive game, you can all agree to turn it off. I mean, yeah, it is dynamic. We wanted to have that feel that the everything is changing, but if that's a serious problem and no one can agree to turn off their music in a competitive game, we can look at it. I mean, as we move forward with more advanced community-related features, let's say there is a competitive flag in your custom match creation that could automatically disable your music for everybody. But I mean, that's the easiest way to solve the problem right now, because otherwise we'd need to make a code change, and that won't make it for another 2 months, until the next patch or whatever.
And then Alistair McBain asked, any plans on allowing to show more badges, which wouldn't be which would make sense considering that there's been lots of tournaments and bounty and high-level badges.
Show more badges?
Yeah, because you can only show 3 on your profile right now.
Oh, show more badges. That's a good question. Well, let's note it down. Ideas collection. Let's add a new one.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, or at least maybe make that scrollable or something. Yeah.
True. Well, because I know, because Brian's with the Gents, and the Gents have earned quite a few first place or high level tournament badges, so I'm sure they're eager to show them all off.
Whoa. I see. I'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll just try to be like a Central American dictator and just pin myself like all kinds of badges.
I'm the most important. I have the most shinies. All right, let's see. And what are the chances of a physical badge pinned to your character model?
Oh, that's
Or
kinda
is that
cool.
even possible?
I don't know. I have to ask Tim. But yeah, we can add that as an idea. We'll ask Tim. Write it down and ask Tim.
Sounds good. Tropo's asking about matchmaking. How does matchmaking work with regions? So like, if
you'll be able to filter or select regions based on regions.
so basically the same way you create a match now or join a match, you just see which
okay.
region.
Let me say this much. The reason why matchmaking, let's put it this way. The thing that matchmaking will prioritize is getting you into a match as quickly as possible. There are a number of factors that will be in play. So one, of course, is the time it takes. It'll try to get you into a match as quickly as possible. But so long as your average team scores are matching. So it's possible to be on a ship if there are not that many people. You have a high level, you have low level. But so long as the average ratings for all the people on your team against the other team is relatively the same. Those are the two most important things. So again, time it takes to get into a match, and then average rating across two teams being similar. The more customization that you put, the more filters, like, oh, I want to play on this match, I only want to, do this, do that, then, it may take longer for you to get into a match. That's when we start, if the system thinks that you've been waiting too long, it'll start ignoring your additional filters. So it'll do its best, but again, if there are not enough people who want the same map to play on the same map, then we're going to deprioritize that to just get you playing, period.
All right, it's more nuanced. It's a better answer than what I provided.
All right,
Apologies.
This question: fog causes FPS drop. Is there a way to fix it? Will you fix it? And he says specifically while zooming.
Yeah, noted. Fog, cloud does cause more. It's definitely more performance intensive. We can definitely look at it and just continue to find ways to improve the game graphically, but like the clouds, there definitely some effects are going to be more performance intensive in the game. I would actually recommend turning off a few settings if that's like really bothering you. I don't think overall it doesn't really impact the game experience that much. What affects shadows and things like that.
Oh my
Whoa,
god.
that kind of freaked me out for a moment.
Yep.
All right, and there's someone asking about pre-made games for tournaments and such. Matchmaking will still allow for custom matches. There just won't be a list for it, so I guess the organizer will have to invite the two team captains. The team captains will then invite their teams, and everyone's in there and good to go. Thank you, Meta, for marking down phone ringing in background. If there are, in adventure mode, if there are going to be taverns and bars, how much will players be able to drink?
I thought you guys want to name it the
and
Burning Skies bar.
and-
Right?
until
And
you're
what will they be able to drink?
until you're virtual drunk. I don't know.
Until you can't get onto your airship. We'll disallow you from flying.
Just like
It's
so
unsafe.
like Assassin's Creed style. like if you pound away like a few shots of like whatever the heck you get, whiskey or something, or rum, like you just you just start having like massive camera shake or something.
I liked Red Dead Redemption's where your character would just fall down after you just
Oh
took
yeah,
that
yeah,
many
you
drinks.
will. I mean, if you have like too much,
Well,
yeah.
I don't like ignoring your real life ability. Maybe you could drink a lot in real life, but everyone will have their blood level, blood alcohol levels. What we don't want to encourage is DUI. So we're not going to let you on your ship, even if you can walk. I don't care. You have really high blood alcohol level. We're not letting you on your ship.
Would it be sailing under the influence?
Yes, SUI. The Sky Whale Police will come take you away.
Oh my God! Have you guys seen the new Skywell plane?
Mind, but I did not utter it.
The future of flight in the real world. It's called the Skywhale. I'm really excited.
I know.
All right, Tropos, another question about matchmaking. How will quitters be handled?
Quitters, well, okay, so everyone has a rating, but you're not going to be able to see that rating because it's going to cause a whole bunch of other problems. Anyway, so the matchmaking system will know if you've been quitting a lot, and we're trying to figure out a way where we can deprioritize your queue based on the number of quits you've had. Of course, the trick here is to distinguish between your computer crashing and I'm actually like rage quitting or something like that. So that's the hard part. Once we do figure that out, I think a lot of other systems do institute this. I think Dota 2 has a pretty harsh penalization system for quitters and other things of that matter. But we'll be taking some inspiration from the already existing systems out there.
And then, how will moderation work in these lobbies? So, like,
Is that a question by Tropo as well?
No, this one's by Golden Glade.
Just kidding. No, it's great. It's great.
Like, so because now if there's like an issue happening, people can contact a CA or CA mod or even one of us, and we hop in. But in matchmaking, you won't be able to do that, and will you still be able to report people like after the round?
Yes, I mean we'll still have the same the same features for communities, upholding community standards and whatnot, and yeah, we're CAs, mods, devs. We'll build in features so we can bypass all the matchmaking stuff, so we can get in and see what's going on and take action.
Always good. David Dwarf is asking what's the biggest thing we're working on at the moment, so that would be co-op mode.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's somewhere between co-op and matchmaking. We're working on actually a few pretty big and exciting things, I would say. But I mean, you're right. I mean, there's nothing bigger than co-op. Who am I kidding?
Will there be a Guns of Icarus Steam workshop for modding? So someday we hope for it to be. I mean, it's there's a lot of work that goes behind building it and making sure it can work.
I mean, I think the next step. Okay, so one thing that basically that we started to play around with and test is to put servers outside of Softlare's coverage, so outside of Europe, America, and Singapore. So there are a few places that that we'll be pretty excited about. Namely Australia, for example, Russia, maybe even Japan, maybe somewhere in South America. So there are really a few steps to get to that point, and then I would say the next big step to get to would be to allow players to host their own game, so you can run your own LAN party and whatnot. And then down the line, maybe we consider mod possibilities, but I think those are actually higher on our priority list. Because I mean they actually have more immediate importance and consequences for players in game right now.
And then, so I actually missed over this one before because I remembered, so I'm sorry. But so starting the match with no tools loaded and not being able to interact with anything bug, is that fixed in the next patch? I know that bug related to joining matches in progress because you didn't have that 10-second timer, so sometimes it'd pop you in when there's just a skybox in the ship.
Yeah. It's actually, I need to check with Alex. I mean, I don't see it, as a fixed bug just yet, but I know that he has been tracking it. It's on the list of bugs that we're tracking for sure. So I mean, we definitely know about it. Obviously, because we responded to a few of these, a few of you guys' emails. We're definitely tracking it. Obviously know about it. I think it happened to like one of us before too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, what it is specifically, I think it's a asset loading problem. So it
Yeah.
happens to us frequently in the office since we're all using
Oh,
the same internet when we do dev matches. So it happens quite often for us. But if you,
Alex, when you spawn, you can't access anything.
It's a while ago. Okay, if people see that, they should send us their client logs so we can track it down.
Actually, Matt, do you guys know? Like, when is the latest report on that one?
I know, but I can definitely check up after this. If you do see it, so everyone in the chat, if you do see it, grab your log for us. More information helps us apparently track it down faster, it sounds like. New, fresher
yeah.
data. Yep.
Yeah, because Alex made a fix for it before, but I guess it's still happening. Yeah. So we'll
if people see it, have them send the logs.
Yeah. So if people are still like, if this is happening to somebody like today, send us your log again or a new log ASAP.
And then someone was asking, how is the snowstorm up there?
It's past. Really, just one day. Well, like the night I took the photos, and after that, it's really cold. But but that was just one day. I mean, it snowed a lot, and obviously, with New York's transportation system being as fragile as it is, it sort of shut it down. But that's not surprising. But after that, it's just cold. It is just cold.
Yep. And Tropo, for matchmaking, it won't be using the current leveling system. The current leveling system isn't built off of player skill. It's built off of completing achievements and time spent in game. But we've got a lot of metrics that we're going to be judging in the background.
yeah, we're basically going to be using the Glico 2 system of rating. This is something they use for chess tournaments, and they use it in League of Legends, I believe. So, I mean, these systems are out there. You can read up about it. You can even look at the equations that we'll be using. But just look for Glico 2 or just Glico or something like that, and you'll be able to find all the documentation about it on how this stuff works. Basically,
Would you mind spelling that for me so I can put it in chat?
GLICKO. And basically the way it'll work is, so we have some basic data on people right now. We've been using everyone's pre-existing data. We've been running the algorithms on it to try to generate a default rating based on your historical data. But in general, the idea is the more that you play, the more accurate your rating will be. And the system that we have so far, if you play 10 matches, even with our predetermined initial rating, it'll greatly improve after those 10 matches and will be fairly accurate from then on if you consistently play. So if you want to be serious and you want to have a good rating, it's in your best interest to hop in the game a couple times during the week and play as many matches as you can to keep your rating consistent, or even try to push your rating even higher. And you can read up on how that works just by some simple Google query.
So we're going to take just a couple more questions, and then we're going to go into the personal question of the day. So find your last technical questions and find a personal question, send them in. We'll choose one of the personal questions. Some of the last questions on the technical side, though, are we going to get to fly biplanes? Because there's all those plane models being shown off recently.
For right now, no. We're focusing just using airplanes for AI-controlled enemies. We never want to throw anything out the window, so the possibility for player-controlled airplanes it's still here, but we just have no idea when and if we'll be able to get to it. Maybe it'll be something in adventure mode. It's really hard to tell right now, but right now we're just focused on getting the core elements of co-op, which is you're on an airship with up to 3 other airships fighting player-controlled airships and airplanes. AI-controlled.
By the way, so Tropo and anybody else who's wondering about matchmaking still have more questions, don't worry. By sometime next week, probably late next week, we will try to get people in, because we'll need as many people to test the system as we can really get. So we'll be able to get you guys in, and we'll be able to answer more questions. So if you guys have more questions with matchmaking, just ping us at any time. Just grab us, and we'll love to actually just answer anything that you have in greater detail.
Yeah, one thing to preface is that we're talking about matchmaking very, very early right now, because it is a very big feature and potentially controversial, that we just want to talk about it and make sure everyone knows this is something that we're thinking about and working on. Matchmaking isn't going to be implemented in the game in 1.36 or something like that, right? It's going to take a lot of time to actually test it, and that's why we want to put it out there that we're working on it and actually get that testing done and figure out what are the potential pitfalls of it. So yeah, all these concerns, and bugs. So all these concerns are great, but rest assured that we're going to take a lot of time testing it and figuring out if it's really, really right for the community. And based on our own conjectures, I think it'll be very good.
All right, and then so there's one personal question that's quick to answer. It's why are all the dev games passwords food related? It's because it's near lunch.
Next question.
Yeah. Next question is what was that, Nathan? What hazing did you go through as the new guy? Did we lose Nathan? Oh, there we go.
I had to wear this ridiculous thing on my head. No, the Oculus Rift. I don't know. There wasn't too much hazing.
Yeah,
maybe they're waiting to spring it on me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, so here it is, right? We took Nathan to the best pizza place or restaurant, whatever that we can possibly afford, knowing that, he around here, where the food options are very limited and crappy, he probably won't find that equivalent food option for his lunch again. So
subpar pizza is the
yeah. So
hazing.
We set the bar super high the first time. It's oh my god, food around here is great.
But Nathan, aren't you going to try the?
Check out other places, you never find it.
Aren't you going to try the what's the liquid food again? What's it called?
Yes, Soylent. I'm planning on going on a Soylent diet as soon as it's available to me. I have my pre-order in. I'm waiting.
Yeah, I heard the recipe from the Soylent people is actually pretty decent.
We'll find out. I'll just start drinking nutrition drink food. It'd be like, oh, you chew your food? That's so last decade.
Yeah, you're seeing the future now. All liquid food.
I'm going.
These games, we're going to space next time.
We have the Steam box, the Steam controller. We'll play Guns of Icarus with the Oculus Rift, and only drinking Soylent. That's the way of the future.
Sky whales in space.
I would watch out. There's already a lot of people saying
Space
that our
whales.
game would be great in space, so
Well,
they're going to already say it's
yeah,
confirmed.
yeah.
Guns of Icarus 3 Space Edition confirmed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we've actually gotten a lot of
Wait.
people saying that before. But
I thought we weren't supposed to talk about Guns of Icarus 3 in this chat.
Oh no, I've leaked it. And then there were a couple people in chat saying, "Can I stop by the office when I drive through the area?" I'm assuming the old answer still stands. Yes,
course.
of course.
yes, but yeah, I mean, if you are like really angry about balance or about like balance in matches and whatnot,
You
just,
won't be coming to the office. I'll meet
Just
you
like-
in an alley, a dark alley. we can talk in private.
Whoa. Actually, yeah. I was just saying, like, yeah, I mean, we'll have to like kind of just sort of mellow you out before you come into the office or whatever.
Well, if they're really mad about balance, we can just dress we have this punching mannequin
Oh, that
dummy
yes.
thing. We'll just
Oh.
dress that up and introduce them to that first, and then they can take their aggression out on it.
Yes. So like, so you'll come in, you'll greet the dummy, and just let your anger and unleash your frustration and everything out on that dummy first. Then you can take another 2 steps into and see the rest of the room.
You see, I've seen Derek hit that dummy. I don't think anything I can do to it would even phase it anymore.
Oh yeah, it's a sturdy dummy.
Oh, okay. So one final question. This is the final one. PAX East.
Oh yeah.
There's Imagine's talking about a PAX East tournament for Guns of
Oh
Icarus.
yes. Yes. Gosh, we should be finding out from the Mega Booth. We should be hearing back from Mega Booth next week, which hopefully will mean that we get to be at the Mega Booth again, which should be really exciting. But yes, regardless, we will be we'll have there will be a guns tournament in the PAX LAN area. And it's going to be pretty awesome. I think they have like 4 rows of stations reserved for the tournament. And I think it's going to be what would they say, like 60 to 100 people or something like that. So it should be pretty amazing.
It should be substantial.
Yeah, we're at the very least we're gonna be there and check it out. It's like talk to people who are playing and whatnot. So that would be really cool. And if people, so imagine if you, like, I think Zill's going too. If you guys want to form a team, okay. It just be like, it's like, what is this game? Yeah.
Oh, we'll just step in here. I don't think we've ever played before.
Yeah. Well, this game is cool. I don't think we've ever played this game before. Yeah, you guys can. Maybe I should be saying this.
What? Trying to set up a... Well, I mean, unless you're starting a betting pool on it, it's not too unethical. It's like, I guess we'll just put $100 on Zill. Just the underdog. Since he's never heard of the game before.
Yeah, it's like, these guys, Imagine, Zill, those guys, the names look kind of cool. Just gonna placing bets on these guys.
Alright, well, thank you for joining us, everyone. It's now 4 o'clock, so we're going to finish up some more work stuff before we lose all the daylight. We'll see you next week. We'll hopefully get to talk a little bit more about Indie Mega Booth, because we get to hear back from them, and talk a little bit more about the Humble Store, and hopefully we'll have the matchmaking testing going. There's going to be more and more announcements coming up, so keep your eyes out. I need everyone I can get, like literally every single person.
Yeah, and just on a closing note, I'm really excited about at least getting people into check out matchmaking. Just try the flow, and give us like a lot of feedback and whatnot. Like I guess I'll take a page out of Steam, right? Well, maybe Steam's taking a page out of us, whatever. But basically, I mean we're especially in this case, when we're doing something potentially pretty substantial. Yeah, we're definitely looking for all the feedback we can. So, however, critical the feedback is, doesn't matter. But, love to take people's feedback as usual. We'll, if people have more questions about matchmaking specifically, we can definitely talk about it. And by next week, as we open it up for people to come in and test, we will be I think the context will be there for us to answer the questions, and some of these things will make more sense.
And here is the URL if you want to get your dev app key. They're going to be constantly updated. I've got a fresh new batch, so as soon as those keys run out, I'll put in more. And we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Cool. Thanks. Bye-bye, everyone.